Hey, it's Mike, and welcome back. And today I'm going to be looking at this issue with URP and projects that have decals. As you can see that there's a decal here that's actually projecting on top of my players and on top of some objects in the scene, like these planks here have a decal on top of them. And I'm just going to look at a fix on how to fix that so your decals in the scene do not project on top of everything else except for what you want it to project on. So stay tuned and we'll take a look at this. So first I'm going to install this Meadow Environment Stylized Pack. So I'll leave a link to this on the asset store. It's got some it's a new pack that just came out, Meadow Environment Stylized Pack. It uses decals, so I'm going to use this one as an example. So this one is compatible with all three pipelines, and we're looking at it in URP and how it's using decals. It does come with different environments, so winter and autumn and summer, so it looks really good. And you get things like fences, and it's got a really nice demo scene that you could just use to prototype your ideas right away without having to build a scene first. You could just use the demo. You can customize the materials as well. It's got this global settings prefab that gives you control over the wind parameters, all different settings. So you may or may not need that, but and it has ambient occlusion and subsurface scattering and tint color settings. So you want to check this out. 350 prefabs as well. So check out that. So I'm going to install that. And it's 1.6 gigabytes, but I've already got it downloaded, so I'll just install it. I'm using URP in this scene. Finished importing, so let's take a look at the scene. Imports into this stylized pack common. The meadow environment is in here. So SRP templates. So what we want to do first is install, because we're using URP, so we want for Unity 6, you want URP template 17.0.3. So we'll install that. And so you get a bunch of different demo scenes. So we'll just look at the summer demo scene. Yeah, it takes a minute here to compile the shaders. Okay, shaders are compiled, so it is working. There's one other thing we need to do. So this indicates a decal here. However, it's not actually doing anything, so we need to go into the settings and the renderer settings, and we need to add the renderer feature, the decal feature. And now you'll see, as soon as we add it, it will recompile everything again. And now we're seeing what that decal actually does. So if we click there, you can actually move this up and down. And we can see that's what it does to the terrain. So that's what decals do. They just add features to your terrain. Now that looks a little weird, this one. So for instance, this, you probably don't want it to apply to that object, for instance. And let's just see what happens when we put our game creator 2 character into it. Let's bring in a game creator character, player character. And we're going to get a camera shot as well. And we're going to give it just a third person camera shot. Okay, and then we're going to bring it over here. So move to view. It should move it. Move it up. So there's our character. I want to move it onto this decal. And we'll see what happens. So you see the character's legs have the decal projecting onto it, which is not what we want at all. We don't want that. So the fix for this is we have to set up the rendering layers. So the decal projector, for instance, if you go into rendering layers, it's set to all, like light layer 1. What we want to do is add a new, I'd like to add a new layer, a rendering layer, which we will go into the project settings. So we go into the project settings, tags and layers, and we have rendering layers here. So let's add a rendering layer called decal. A decal layer, and then what we want to do is switch this decal over. So number 10. Okay, we're going to change that to decal and remove that. And then let's see what we got here. It's still not doing anything. So after we set, we also need to click use rendering layers in the decal so that it will use the rendering layers that we want it to. So if we go back to the player now, it no longer is projecting it on top of the player. But it is no longer projecting it onto the terrain either. But we do want it on the terrain. So the terrain itself has its own setting for that. So we go into the terrain settings, and then we come down here to the rendering layer mask there, and we add decal to it. And then so basically you have to do this to every decal projector in the scene to get this to work. What I would do is you take all the decal projectors, you can multi-select them, because there could be lots of them in the scene. And they've grouped them into one thing. So just come in here and then you can change it to decal. And then, so nothing will be gone. Change it to decal, and then it'll only project it on the terrain. So now you see these planks no longer have the decal projecting on top of them either. We didn't have to change this because it's at a default. It's got LODs as well, but it's got a default rendering layer mask of default, so that's fine. If you were to add decal to it, it will see the decal now appears on top of it like it was before, so we just need to remove that. So, and we are good. So that's how you fix this issue with decals in the scene with your other objects appearing on top of or with the decal appearing on top of objects you don't want it to. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one.